Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Stingray aerospace fighter, which resembles the X-29 uh, fighter craft from, I think it was Northrop Grumman way back when. All right, so instantly recognizable by the forward swept wing design, the Stingray, nicknamed the slant back, was a prized fighter in the inner sphere. An experimental fighter just before the fall of the Star League with a wing design based upon the 21st century Terran conventional fighter. The Stingray is produced by and common among the Free Worlds League forces, although every successor state, in particularly the Lyran Commonwealth, has a few of the nimble fighters in inventory. Noted for maneuverability and stability, the Stingray is not fast, but it is deadly with heavy armament. So, looking at what our weapons and equipment are, a Hellion B2 medium laser and Hellion A3 large laser fit out each wing, while a massive sunspot PPC is mounted in the nose. This gives the Stingray a great long range firepower, and the PPC is perfect for attacking grounded dropships or other armored targets. If I can only speak here this morning. Now, um, it is a fairly good layout for weaponry here. So, having the different variants, there is a small list of them, but there is a list nonetheless. So, a 2911 House Steiner variant that replaces the PPC and one heatsink with an AC5. This was an attempt to stop the craft's nose heavy tendencies, but the cannon only increased the stresses on the airframe. The F 92, this is an Ardean Aerotech making use of the advanced technology to upgrading its already popular aerospace designs. The new F 92 Stingray produced in 3050 at the Ardean and or Orteni facilities switches to double heat sinks to cool the pair of Helion A3 ER large lasers and Magma Sunspot ERPPC, replacing their older standard counterparts. We have the F-94, developed in 3052 by fellow League based manufacturer Qatar's Aerospace. The F-94 carries a different weapons array featuring a diverse optics Sunbeam ER large laser, a Helion 5 medium laser mounted in the nose, supported by a further medium laser, and Iran, Iran Weapons Works Class 10 LRM 10 rack on each wing. While carrying a ton of reloads for each launcher, this variant can only boast moderate endurance due to the mounting of single heat sinks. All right, then we have the F-95, a modern take on the F-90, developed in 3069 by Guaterres. That was due to enter service in 3069. The F-95 is clad in ferro aluminum armor and mounts 19 double heat sinks to cope with the heat generated by the heavy PPC in the nose and the ER large lasers in each wing. Last but not least, we have the F-96R, intended to combat glazed armor clad opponents. This 3132 variant carries a trio of large re energized lasers into battle. All right, I'm not going to get into all the custom variants here. Um, let's see, related designs. We have a Void Seeker and a Death Stalker. Let's see, we do have two pictures here, and this one was done by David Dietrich for the original 3025, and the one that I grabbed because the lines are a little bit darker here for the revised 3025, which was done by Mike Nielsen and Jim Nielsen after David Dietrich's original uh, illustration of it. All right, it's an interesting fighter craft, to say the least. But with this, let's get on over to our D6 stats and see what I have here for us today. Okay, so looking at the Stingray here. Again, this is all at Walker scale. We have this at 60 tons. Crew of one, no passengers. Cargo capacity is still at 45 kilograms, just kind of keeping that as a holding point here. Um, Full coverage. Cost is 2,979,080 C-bills. Has a maneuverability of 2D plus 2. Has a space speed of 9. That's our overthrust. So our atmospheric speed would be 1,150 kilometers an hour. We do have a body strength of 5D because it is a 60 tonner, and that gives us 194 armor points on board. Let's see, we have our three different weapons types. We have our two medium lasers. These are forward firing. These are fire linked. Has a fire control of 2D and a damage of 6D because they are fire linked. Our two large lasers, again being fire linked, forward firing. Um, Fire control is 2D and damage is 7D. And then we have our single PPC in the nose, and this has a fire control of 2D and a damage of 7D. Now, one of the nice things for Battletech is with this design, we are not limited to how much ammo we have, seeing that these are energy based weapons. So we don't have to worry about running out of ammo mid flight and in mid combat. The only downfall is having to deal with the heat, which whenever we get to our aerospace and our vehicles, we have to make sure we have enough heat sinks to cover everything. Unlike our battle mechs, where we're afforded to throw more weapons than we can actually manage the heat on, so we have to kind of pick and choose what weapon we're actually shooting at a time. Um, Kind of limiting us at times as to what we can and cannot do, but also giving us the ability to do what is now considered an alpha strike, just shoot everything. Hopefully, we hit, and then we'll deal with the heat later. Kind of attitude. Sometimes it works in our favor. Sometimes it just horribly fails, but we just go on from there. Again, this is an interesting aircraft. I mean, always having the forward swept wings is always an interesting design. And I just looking at it, it does look like the X-29. They're from, I think, Grumman and Northrop had combined on that configuration. One of the things I do want to notice is when you look at this, we don't have as huge of a nose as we did on the X-29, um, where computers, they had to throw in, I don't remember the number of computers, but it was a number of computers they had to throw in there just to keep it able to fly. It was um, so dependent upon the computers. And back then, back in the back in the 80s when they had developed it, computers were fairly large. So when we look at it then compared to today, it is a whole different world. So fun seeing that same design coming out again. I know it's been out here for a while, but as we copy it and then you see things change in one way or another, I mean, there are reasons for this. So, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's always wonderful having you here. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the next video.